everybody! Welcome to another episode, and today we're going to be looking at Cracks and Crevices question in Ask Reddit. What is an adult problem that nobody prepared you for? Let's get started! Alright everybody, first replies by Violet Memphis Blue. When I was a kid, I thought I'd be remarried, or at least have a partner by the time I was 21. I didn't know any unmarried adults, so it didn't seem possible. I'm now 31 and single, which is great, but I still feel weird making big decisions alone. Like, I can buy a car, I can move, I can get a new job, and I don't have to run it, buy anyone, or ask permission? It still feels weird to make my own personal pro-con list, and then that's it. I'm done. Mostly Harmless says, I feel you. I'm 38 and I'm in the same position. I love my life, but sometimes I'd really value a teammate where I could trade off having to deal with things occasionally, or have someone to share decision making with. Buying property on my own was terrifying. My friends and the mortgage broker all laughed at me when I complained about the constant reading I was having to do with all those legal documents that came through practically daily, and how I had no clue what they meant. The consensus view was, you didn't actually read those, did you? Wow. I just expect my solicitor to tell me what I need to know. But I'm agreeing to a contract that's worth so much money, I can't even really conceptualize it fully, and it's on me if I cock up. Of course I read everything. Well, you know, if you're talking about a $300,000 house or something, like, I would read the fine print. Personally, just saying. Like, you know, if my lunch gets delivered, I'm not necessarily going to read the fine print of that. But if I'm spending $300,000 on a house, you want to be educated, don't you? One longer leg adds, it really is a bullshit industry. My realtor, I assume, acted like a car salesman. Oh, don't worry about that. Just sign here. It's a 30-year mortgage, asshole. I'm gonna read it. I found some small errors that they all said, don't worry, because they would have to do more work. My lawyer was even like, I want to see if I can beat my fastest closing time. I said, no. In response to what is an adult problem that nobody prepared you for, Zach's Maximum adds, the death of the elder family and your rising name on that list. I was just ruminating earlier today with my station. It feels like I was 20 just yesterday, but then suddenly I have an adult daughter. I've buried grandparents and a parent, and now more voices turn to me than I can turn to myself. Yeah! Welcome to humanity in the 2020s, where you have all the solutions and answers in front of you, but society doesn't teach you to use them, and instead, you spend all your time wasting your life away and getting depressed on social media instead of using the internet to change your life and live a meaningful, happy, fulfilling life where you can empower those around you. Hello and welcome to the modern times! Yeah, it's true. A lot of these things we aren't taught about. And it sucks, but that's why you gotta teach some people. You gotta make some education. You gotta make some content. Do some marketing campaigns. Make some YouTube videos to teach these people the shit that you wish someone taught you. Alright. Barba Millicent adds, I realized a couple years ago at a family reunion that my maternal grandmother has outlived all of her immediate family by several years. Her parents, 5 siblings, and even all of their spouses. My paternal grandmother has 1 sibling left. They were both the youngest in their families. I'm the youngest in my family, and I dread the statistical likelihood that I very well may have to bury my whole family. I know it's part of life, but I don't know how they get through it. Well, from my perspective, my dad died of lung cancer when I was 12. He was sick for a year and a half, so by the time he died, I may have been 12, but I wanted him dead. I know that's fucked up, but dying through lung cancer is not a pretty thing. You die because the cancer metastasizes. It spreads because your lungs are very close to your blood, right? Your heart. And the cancer ends up everywhere. Ends up in your brain, in your bones, in your kidneys, in your blood, everywhere. Everywhere. And so you die agonizingly and painfully. And that's what happened to my father. He lost his humanity after maybe a year and a couple months. And then he held on, his body held on for a couple months, but there weren't words, there were just noises of pain, and that was it. So, it sucks, don't get me wrong, but also, death is literally what makes your life worth living. You're gonna die, and you may get in a car and die tomorrow, so you better be fucking living your life well. And you better be doing things that live your life, not someone else's. You better not be wasting the short time you have here. You better not be spending all of it with other people, other companies, other business interests. You have friends, family, and yourself. And the most important thing you can do with the time you have here, coming from somebody who witnessed death at the age of 12 and has been around it, the most important thing you can do is fucking eye contact with your loved ones. Jesus Christ. Don't fucking work 80 hours a week. Or 40. Why do people want to work that much? Why do you think that having a great big nice car and a great big nice house is worth you working so much that you pay a fucking nanny to raise your own children? What's wrong with our society that we think we have to kill ourselves by working all the time so that we can pay other people to raise our kids? Are they even your kid? You know, yeah, my dad died of an agonizing death when I was 12, but you know what? He made regular eye contact with me and loved me and spent so much time with me, looking at me, listening to me, talking to me. That was the most important thing in his life for 10 years before he died. And you know what? I got more from my father in 10 years than most people I know get from their father in a whole fucking lifetime. And that is insane, and it shows just how wrong we spend our time. Don't waste your time doing dumb bullshit that doesn't matter to you. If you're depressed, it's not because something's wrong with you. It's because our society is conditioned to waste our time for other people doing things that don't mean anything to us personally. And guess what happens when you do that every day for years? You get fucking depressed because your life doesn't have meaning to you. If you can't do something every day that you feel is meaningful, it brings change to you or someone you love. If you can't do that, don't be surprised if you have anxiety disorders and depression, because you have needs. And U.S. society as a whole is very, very good at neglecting those needs. And if you even try and talk about them to other people, you're unwillingly, unknowingly suppressed and pushed deeper into your mental problems, your mental diseases, you know, because you have depression and you have ADD. It's something that's wrong with you. Oh no, it's not the fact that our society is ridiculous and expects crazy things and does crazy shit and we're overexposed to tons of information and blah, blah, blah. No, none of that matters. No, we're just gonna tuck that aside for now. Wait. So you're saying that if I just like started doing things that made me happy every day, I'd be happy. What? But I've been doing things that make me unhappy for so long that I don't think anything makes me happy, my friend. And I'm like, of course you don't know because you've forgotten. It's so sad. Oh, this tangent's too long and nobody wants to hear about mental health even though people need to hear about it. Lord adds, my father-in-law passed away a couple of months ago. My mother-in-law and wife both heavily leaned on me to settle the estate, plan the service, give the eulogy, etc. Unexpectedly, I became the head of my wife's family. The day of my father-in-law's funeral, my own father died, and I immediately had to do the same thing from my side of the family. Both our mothers are now widows, advancing in their years, and increasingly in need of help. I have a couple older siblings, and they've got issues, brain injury, drug addiction. Especially around the holidays, I still half expect to go home where the adults live, where I'll eat good cooking, enjoy the big house, but have to put up with their prodding questions about my future, my job, etc. Then I realize I am that home for my family now. The moms are in senior centers. It's my home they come to. It's me pestering the kids, nieces, and nephews about their jobs. I'm the one asking their babies, their jobs, etc. I'm the gray-haired, chubby old man giving advice, loaning money, and worried about the young ones. But no, that can't be right. Wasn't it just last week I was drinking a 40, biking downtown to go to that rooftop party where I was hoping to bump into that cute girl I met at the concert? Time flies. Don't waste it. Chattery Trout replies to the overall question that I deviated from. What is an adult problem that nobody prepared you for? Food in general. I am only one man. Getting a decent variety in my fridge is a pain because it's all sold in larger quantities than I can use. So when I open a package of sausage links for breakfast, I have to use it almost every day, or it's gone or it'll go off. Similar story with bread. Eat sandwiches almost every day, or it gets moldy before I'm halfway through it. Tubby Marmot adds, there are a lot of recipes out there, and you really can't go wrong with any of them. This is one of those dishes where you can basically do whatever you want, and you are correct. Basically, in a big pan, heat up a good amount of olive oil and toss in your diced veggies. Veggies can be anything you want. Don't let recipes tell you what to use. Let them cook for a bit. Toss in some tomato sauce and a bit of paste. How much is your preference? Plop in some eggs once it's all heated up and cover. I drizzle tahini at the end for seasoning. I use salt, pepper, turmeric, za'atar, and fresh herbs if I have them. But again, the fun of this dish is just doing whatever you feel like and using whatever you've got lying around. Some of old Peanuts adds, lol, it's not it. Shashushka. Fry some veggies in a pan and slice tomatoes, tomato puree, and mix and fry. Add salt, pepper, and paprika. Then drop a few eggs into the mix, if sunny side up. The eggs should sit at the bottom of the pan, so clear some space before dropping each. They should also be separated from each other. Let the eggs cook, but not too much. The yolk should be soft. Serve with bread or pita and have some tahini. That works great. I want to point out here that somebody earlier said, oh, the thing nobody prepared me for is food. And then two random people just gave very easy to make simple cooking advice. I mean, it's kind of cute. They're trying to help him, you know? It's helpful. It's weird. Helpful stuff exists on the internet. What? How do I find it? It's so hard. It's covered in all the bullshit and kittens. Ketikaboom adds, good mattress is essential. I have sciatica, I guess a back problem, and our new bed is amazing for it until it wasn't. After about 4 years, we had to replace because my significant other and I were having such terrible problems. Both had referrals to get x-rays and plans to set up appointments with chiropractors, and we knew the first thing they would say is replace the bed. So we did. And 2 weeks later, we both canceled our appointments. Other than my sciatica, my back problems are gone. So are my husband's. It was like a miracle. If miracles cost thousands of dollars. Chupacabra adds, yeah, they are quite an investment, but you spend 1/3 of your life on your bed. Oh, whoa. You gotta get a couch that you can sleep on. You gotta sometimes sleep on your tile floor, you know? I mean, if you're just sleeping on your bed all the time, beds are subjective. You think you know what a bed is and what you need, but really it's what you're used to. And you'd be surprised what you can perceive as comfortable when you spend a couple days trying to sleep on a tile floor for a bit. Liquid Donuts adds, buyer beware. Using an inversion table on a mid-incline caused a bulged disc, depressing levels of Sadia from March until October. I guess the disc reabsorbed, but I lost about 25 pounds around September or October from diet and exercise. I put some weight back on from just general laziness, and the sciatica, how do I pronounce that word? Sciatica is mildly starting to creep back. More than enough to get me back on to keto. Ask if I'm an alien adds, as someone who has had 2 fusions and 1 artificial disc replacement, nah, it wasn't the table. That disc was already done for. Check into laser ablation to repair the herniation. Avoid fusion if you can. I couldn't. My vertebrae were being damaged and there was really no other way for me. You are on the right path to staying on shape and lean and mean. Stay as active as you can. Avoidance protocol is a double-edged sword. You avoid the pain in the short term, but you also lose important conditioning of the surrounding muscles. USS Marauder adds, the worst thing about adulting is finding out just how little a lottery win is. $10 is lunch, $100 is bill payment, $1,000 is monthly rent and mortgage, $10,000 is like all expenses for 6 months at most. You have to win at least 5 figures, probably $100,000 before your life even changes. And statistically, it's just gonna rebound because, our society focuses on money instead of eye contact with people you love. Oh, it's so funny. We chase something that is finite because we're sad at our core about something that we have limited amount, but in reality we have infinite access of eye contact with people we love. Oh, society, how fun are you? Go Mariety on Planet says, I was just listening to Tony Robbins, and he said that in a survey, Americans said the best thing that could happen to them was winning a lottery. However, studies after studies have shown that people who win lotteries get bankrupted really quickly. They don't know how to invest money. They don't know how to save money. And they don't know how to spend money. They're horrible money managers. People keep asking them for money. Even people who will win millions of dollars lose that money in between 5 and 10 years, and are usually back to where they were before, or worse. Another study showed that what makes people happy is not money, but progress. These people who won the lottery never progressed to the point of winning the lottery. It was pure luck. Ooh, deep. Alright, what are we at here? Alright, we're getting close. No My Traveler adds, 6 figures is like 3x the median income of the United States. It's 4 times the poverty line in the US for a 4-person household. People on Reddit just live in a fantasy land where you need insanely large amounts of money to get by, let alone be happy. It's because most of Reddit is made up of young adults or teens who haven't left high school or college. Well, there's also where they live has a lot to do with it. I mean, look, if you're listening to this, you probably live in the United States. I live in Nicaragua, okay? I pay $320 a month for a 2-bedroom house with a garage and a yard that's big enough to have a mango tree that completely bombards me with mangoes. 6 months out of the year, I have infinite mango supply. Whenever I want a mango, I can just have one. There's so many mangoes that I have a possum who lives in my backyard and just lives off of mangoes. He has this little pile of mangoes, and every day he goes and finds a mango and puts it in his little possum pile. My whole point's here, $325 a month. Fully furnished. Couches, beds, television, fridge, oven, space for a car, air conditioning, 2 rooms, living room, utility room, washing room, $325 a month. And guess what? That is actually closer to most people's cost of living in the world. The United States and the developed nations are not the majority. They are by far not the majority. And it's so fucking expensive in those nations that you're almost always better off figuring out how you can earn money in the nation while not living there. Like, your life just fucking changes overnight. It's the kind of thing that you think happens when you win the lottery. That doesn't happen when you win the lottery. That happens when you earn money online and then you change where you live. Because you literally go from a person who's conditioned by media and everything to think that you're never going to have enough money. You always have to try and save, but it's never enough. It's overwhelming. Everything's so expensive. You feel that way for the most part, not because you don't earn enough money, but because of where you live. If you can keep earning the same amount of money and change your costs, you can have a life where you do whatever you want. Like, take me for example. I'm basically a retired person. I'm 27. I'm not rich. I earn $11,000 or $12,000 a year. Yet I'm retired. Doesn't make sense, does it? Because it can't work in the US. You can't do that. Whereas I now have made stuff in my past that pays for my minimal bills. And when I want more out of life, I work more. If I want some nice thing or whatever, or I have some reason to. But if not, fuck that. I want my free time. That's what I want. And I could work more, but why? I get to spend every day doing whatever I want. It's so insane because no matter what career path you go down, there's no career path that leads you to a point where you get to spend all day doing what you want. Now, it doesn't exist. And it sounds like a dream, but it's not a dream. You literally, all you have to do is be able to earn $500 or $600 a month online. Boom! You are now upper level human financially. You just live in the wrong country as if you're not. You literally consume enough resources to live multiple years not working in other countries. And the great, beautiful thing about, I say not working, but people who know me wouldn't think of me as a person who doesn't work, because I have the luxury of doing what I enjoy. And let me tell you something about television and all this stuff. It's a coping mechanism, because you spend your time doing things for other people. And you want to recover. You want to relax. So you do. And then by the time you're done, you got to go to sleep and restart the whole fucking cycle. But when you don't have this job that you're putting all of your effort into, you find you have to put all of that effort into yourself. And just because you have all the time in the day doesn't mean you're going to be happy. Being happy is work, believe it or not. You're not going to be happy just because you have all day to do stuff. You have to get yourself into the habit of regularly taking care of yourself, cleaning, doing things. That's how you maintain happiness. And all of this is why U.S. society is so goddamn lost. Because we don't value time. We value money. With the philosophy that money gets you time, but it's fucking dumb because we trade our time for money. We have time. All these people in the third world nation, so to speak, like if you live in the US or you live in a more developed country, you have judgments about people who live in these other countries. One thing you probably don't realize is these people have more free time than you. By and by, people in third world countries have exponentially more free time. I didn't realize that until I started living in Nicaragua, and then I could see it's so different because they don't have the resources to, not even them, their communities don't have the resources to enable them to be constantly distracted all the time. So people like hang out in the street and like talk to their neighbors. And people, like, on a nice day, they sit in front of their house and, like, drink beer and chat with strangers who walk by and shit. And people here make eye contact. And they talk to each other. And they spend quality time with each other. Huh. How peculiar. How fucking peculiar. Alright everybody, that's it for now. If you like this kind of content, please do one of the following. Watch another one of our videos, subscribe to this channel, comment below, or like this video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Ciao!